It was a chilly evening in the city when Emma, a young woman in worn-out clothes, stood outside a grand restaurant. The aroma of roasted chicken and fresh bread floated through the air, making her stomach ache with hunger. She hadn't eaten properly in 2 days. Her hands trembled as she clutched her small bag, and her eyes followed the wealthy people stepping out of expensive cars, walking inside with laughter and ease. Just as she was about to turn away, a tall man in a tailored suit exited the restaurant. His shoes gleamed, his watch sparkled, and his expression was one of quiet authority. Emma swallowed her pride, stepped closer, and whispered, "Excuse me, sir. May I have your leftovers?" Her voice was soft, almost breaking. The man, Mr. Anderson, a billionaire entrepreneur, paused in surprise. He was not used to strangers speaking to him like this. He turned his sharp gaze toward her, ready to dismiss her request as yet another beggar's plea. But something stopped him. Emma's eyes, though tired and hollow, were filled with a deep, unspoken pain. They weren't the eyes of someone careless or lazy. They were the eyes of someone who had once dreamed, once fought, once hoped, but was now crushed under life's weight. Mr. Anderson felt an unusual tug in his chest. For the first time in years, he didn't just see a stranger. He saw a story hidden in those eyes, and against every instinct of indifference he had built over the years, he didn't walk away. He asked, "What's your name?" Emma hesitated. No one had asked her name in a long time. "Emma," she said, her voice trembling. "I didn't mean to bother you. I just thought maybe you had food you wouldn't need." Mr. Anderson gestured toward his car. "Come with me." Though nervous, Emma followed. He took her to a quieter corner, ordered fresh meals to be packed, and placed them in her hands. Her gratitude poured out in tears as she whispered, "Thank you." But Mr. Anderson wasn't done. Something about her eyes compelled him to know more. "Tell me," he asked gently, "how did you end up here?" Emma's voice quivered as she shared her story. Once, she had been a student of literature, passionate about writing. She dreamed of publishing her own novel, but after her parents' sudden death, she was forced to abandon her studies to care for her younger brother. Life spiraled downward when her brother fell ill, and with hospital bills piling up, she lost her home. Her brother eventually passed away, and she was left alone, broken and penniless. As she spoke, Mr. Anderson's usual walls of steel began to crumble. He had built an empire by focusing only on profit and ignoring emotions. But listening to Emma reminded him of his own past, of days when he too had known struggle, when his mother had fought to feed him after his father abandoned them. He had promised himself never to feel weakness again, yet now, weakness was exactly what he felt, because Emma's pain was real, raw, and unforgettable. Mr. Anderson leaned back, studying Emma with a seriousness that unsettled her. "Do you still write?" he asked suddenly. Emma's eyes widened. "Sometimes," she admitted, pulling out a small notebook from her bag. Its edges were worn, its pages smudged, but her words were alive, poems, short stories, fragments of dreams written in the midst of despair. He took the notebook, flipped through the pages, and was stunned. Her writing carried emotion so strong it felt like music. For a long moment, silence hung between them. Then he said something that would change her life. "Emma, I want to help you." Her heart skipped a beat. "Help me?" she whispered. "Yes, I don't believe in charity, but I believe in talent, and you have it. I'll connect you with my publishing company. If you're willing to work, I'll make sure your words reach the world." Emma couldn't breathe. No one had ever spoken to her like this. No one had ever seen her for who she was inside. She clutched her notebook like it was the most precious treasure in the world. Why would you do this for me?" she asked, tears streaming down her cheeks. Mr. Anderson looked into her eyes again. "Because years ago, someone believed in me when I was nothing. I think it's my turn now." At that moment, Emma realized she wasn't just holding food in her hands. She was holding a second chance at life. Weeks turned into months. Under Mr. Anderson's guidance, Emma's life began to transform. He provided her with a safe place to stay, but more importantly, he gave her the dignity of work. Her writing soon reached editors and publishers, and within a year, her first book, The Eyes That Spoke, hit the shelves. The world embraced her words. Readers were moved by the raw honesty and hope that radiated from her stories. Emma became a symbol of resilience, proof that broken dreams could be rebuilt. At her first book signing, the line of people stretched around the block. She held her pen with trembling fingers, whispering prayers of gratitude. Mr. Anderson stood quietly at the back of the crowd, watching with pride. He had seen miracles in business, but this, watching Emma rise from despair to purpose, was the greatest miracle of all. When the signing was over, Emma walked up to him, tears shining in her eyes. "I'll never forget the day I asked you for leftovers," she said softly. He smiled, placing a hand on her shoulder. "And I'll never forget the day I looked into your eyes and saw the miracle waiting to happen." Their paths had crossed by chance, but the bond forged that night became unbreakable. Emma had gained not just food or opportunity, but hope, dignity, and a future. And Mr. Anderson, the man who thought he had everything, realized he had gained something even greater: the joy of changing a life.